As you just saw, President Trump wrapping up a speech to steelworkers in Illinois just moments ago. He's also visited farmers in Iowa. That was earlier today.
We had this hat made up. Look at that. It's the John Deere colors, actually. But make our farmers great again. Isn't that great? Make our... Basically, we opened up Europe. And that's going to be a great thing for Europe, and it's really going to be a great thing for us, and it's going to be a really great thing for our farmers. After years of shutdowns and cutbacks, today the blast furnace here in Granite City is blazing bright. Workers are back on the job, and we are once again pouring new American steel into the spine of our country.
Now, some people are saying one of the biggest problems for Democrats in 2018 this year and 2020, the presidential election year, is the party's inability to develop a cohesive message to counter President Trump. In fact, an op-ed in the New York Times today foreshadows Trump winning re-election in 2020 due to the strong economy. Senator Elizabeth Warren, who is rumored to be a future possible opponent of the president's, offered a much different approach than Trump. Here she is calling for higher taxes?
There was a time in a very prosperous America, an America that was growing a middle class, an America in which working families were doing better generation after generation after generation, where the top marginal rate was well above 50%.
So, Jesse, I think the president and Republicans want to talk about the economy, about the stock market doing well. They've had some trouble delivering the message on the benefits of the tax cut, but we see the president getting out there, and this may be the message he wants to deliver going into the midterms.
First of all, I want that green hat. That looks pretty good. And,
wait. It would cover up our wonderful haircut.
Yeah, you did just get your haircut, Jesse.
That's true. You know what? I don't.
What a waste of money if you do that.
I agree. I think Trump needs to focus like a laser on the economy and law and order and judges and keep hammering Democrats as socialist freaks who kneel during the national anthem. There are great headlines coming out of the economy. We're supposed to get an enormous GDP number tomorrow, maybe 3, 4, 5%. We've had 3 straight quarters of 3% GDP economic growth, and the low unemployment's fantastic for everyone, and the tax cut has delivered a $2,600 cut to every family in this country. But there are areas of concern. The wages dipped a little bit the last quarter. They're still up 2.8%, where under Obama they were flat. And the trade deal is tough because, you see some places like we were talking about, you have steel companies closing and then you have aluminum companies opening up. And what he did with the EU was actually very smart. I think what he did is he's saying for short-term pain, we want long-term gain. So he raised some tariffs and they came back begging yesterday. And they have a verbal deal and they're going to now drop the tariffs on non-industrial goods. They're going to drop the tariffs on liquefied natural gas. We still have the auto tariffs in play, which isn't good for Michigan and South Carolina. But all in all, the farm subsidies, I think, are good politics but bad economics. But it's just showing the trade partners, listen, we're going to soften the blow because you're not going to inflict any pain on us. And in order to eventually bring down all trade barriers, and that's the goal, free and open and fair trade.
Okay, so Dana, Jesse makes the case, I think, from the Trump perspective that you want your partners, I think the president said his favorite word is reciprocal. Reciprocal.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. In the papers today it said My Little Pony, Jack Daniels, Coca-Cola, GM, the farmers, and Whirlpool all say, you know what, this is hurting us, hurting our profits.
It is, and I think that's one of the reasons you saw the president, one, be conciliatory towards the EU yesterday. It's just good for our allies for us to work together. They didn't actually agree to anything yesterday. They just agreed to stop fighting in public and to deal with the issues, and that's great because we need to fight as allies against countries like China. I think that the president is smart to get out of town. In the early years of the Bush administration, that first term, the economy was great. You could not get a lot of media coverage around it. Obviously, we were at war as well. The great thing for the president, if he wants good headlines, is he has to go to these places and watch where the president goes. He's going to places where he can help vulnerable Republican members. He went to Iowa today and Illinois. There's 2 members there, Republicans, that are in very bad shape, and he wanted to go and help shore them up. He'll probably return to those places. The other thing I would say is getting that Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Michigan, all of his numbers there are really bad. And so where these tariff issues should help should be there. They're not helping so much, so he's got to figure out how to turn that around. And by being conciliatory towards the EU, he might be able to do that.
Greg, how did you get back from Granite City so quickly?
Well, you know, I have a private plane.
Oh, I see.
And a tunnel.
Must be nice.
And a tunnel.
A tunnel.
You know, it's like looking at Liz Warren and other folks like Cory Booker. Right now, we have so much good news,
Yep.
and the Dems are fixated on finding bad news. They're like those old strange men on the beach with metal detectors, you know, that always are walking too close to you.
Something.
Yeah, hoping to find something, except they're misery detectors, and they can't find any misery, so they have to invent misery. In this case, Liz Warren wants to raise tax rates to 50% for some people, and roll back the tax cuts. She's essentially a success extinguisher. She's looking at the economy like it's a fire, and she wants to put it out. That's what she's doing. So here's what I worry about, is that they might achieve something. What I've noticed is that we might be entering the second part of a political cycle that's been going on since the 60s. The Republicans come in and they fix things. And then that allows the Democrats to come in and break things because there are things to be broken. And then you get the Republicans back in to fix things because the Democrats broke things and the Republicans fixed things. And then the public says, oh, now we can sustain more Democrats. So they come in to break things. And this goes back and forth. So Republicans fix, Democrats break. Republicans fix, Democrats break. This has been going on since the 1960s. So now Trump has fixed a half a dozen things. And everybody's going, hey, you know what? Let's give those Democrats another chance. Let them break some stuff.
Well, we can't let them break it. But, but to Dana's point, too, you know, he is there because of vulnerable members of Congress, but he's also talking to, I think, key constituencies right now, talking to steel workers and farmers, because there are people that have felt the effect of this, you know, trade tariffs that are going back and forth. And so I think his message to them, both with the farmers and the steelworkers, is I'm with you. I was with you because you were the forgotten men and women who President Obama left behind. And I'm standing with you now, and I'm fighting for you. And so I think it's a really critical time for him to be sending that message, and also to be touting the fact that we have seen hundreds of thousands of manufacturing jobs added under President Trump. The economy is good. As Jesse pointed out, GDP growth tomorrow.
One quick question.
Okay.
The deficit, because he's offering $12 billion in subsidies to the farmers, and even the farmers are like, boy, you know, with the tax cut that didn't pan out, and now this, that blows up the deficit. It used to be a Republican thing. No,
it used to be wasn't a Democrat thing.
No, I said Republican.
I know, but I mean, Democrats didn't care about deficits. You guys invented them.
No one does.
I'm not down with the bailout, but I think President Trump can say that I'm fighting for you. And yesterday's press conference also came at a critical time for him to be able to say that, look, this is having some movement and effect.
All right, Trump allies pushing to impeach Rod Rosenstein, but could the plan open the door for Democrats to go after President Trump? Boy, that's a big debate, and it's next.
Jesus loves you more than you will know. Whoa, whoa, whoa. God bless you, please. Mrs. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray.
The Republicans are planning to impeach Rod Rosenstein. We'll see how that goes. Freedom Caucus leaders are accusing the Deputy Attorney General of stonewalling their request for documents, but aren't finding the support they need right now. Meantime, a turn in what the president calls the Russia witch hunt. Special counsel Robert Mueller is reportedly examining the president's tweets in a possible obstruction case. All right, so I think let's start with the Rosenstein situation, Dana. I think what they're asking for are the original documents that existed to justify the opening of this Russia-Trump probe. And they have not been able to find any of those documents. They've been stonewalled, and the subpoenas have not been respected. But it doesn't look like this thing's going to go anywhere, the impeachment deal.
Yeah, I don't think so. This is one of those ones where I'm like, because it's not going anywhere. And you've even had Alan Dershowitz say, it is the most short-sighted and I have to say stupid thing I have heard in a long time, that you have basically what he's saying is that we have Democrats out there saying impeach, impeach, impeach of the president, and that obviously looks ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
And that this is Republicans, like 20 of them, saying, okay, impeach Rod Rosenstein over something that the Justice Department says is not necessary. Anyway, so no, I don't think that's going anywhere.
It could have been contempt. That might have been more of a stepping stone before impeachment. Greg, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think I've heard a single person that has actually said this is a good idea.
I think it's a great idea. Hey, America, it's a good idea.
America, there is your proof? One is saying that this is a good idea. Do not do it.
Idea.
By the way, here's the big problem. Impeachment proceedings require hearings, which we will be required to carry. All right? And these are going to be really boring, stupid hearings.
And it'll cut into the 5.
It'll cut into. You won't cut into the monologue. You will cut into the monologue. There'll be no 5. You'll miss outnumbered. Fox and Friends, everything's gone, and then all your favorite shows on other channels will be gone too. No Judge Judy. Is Judge Judy still around?
She's making a lot of money, Greg. All right, Juan, what do you think about this? And what do you think about Mueller going after Trump's mean tweets?
I don't think it's the meanness. I think it's evidence or potential evidence of obstruction and what he's trying to do. But to me, this is a wonderful political story. I mean, forget for a second the impeachment. Impeachment is just, I mean, it's so petty and mean-spirited. I don't know. But anyway.
Did you feel that way about going after Trump?
Yeah, I'll remember you said that after the
midterm. Maxine Waters wants to impeach Trump.
No, but
that's different.
Excuse me. These guys are the majority. They're in power, Greg. They can actually do this. But, of course, what you heard from even Speaker Paul Ryan is he doesn't support it, right?
But he also said that he's frustrated as well with the DOJ and not providing the documents that have been subpoenaed and asked for. And we look at things like text messages that popped up in the IG report that were never given to Congress. So I think it's perfectly fair for Republicans that are conducting these investigations to be frustrated with Rod Rosenstein. And so I think the point of this is to stir some sort of action, to put pressure on leadership, put pressure on the DOJ and Rod Rosenstein. Look, you've got to have the numbers for impeachment, and they don't have that in the House. You're not going to have it moving forward if anything happened in the House to the Senate. So, I mean, the numbers aren't there. So I think the point is to put pressure. And Congress really doesn't have a lot of tools at their disposal. You look at contempt. What did that do with Eric Holder? Absolutely nothing.
But Lisa, this is not high crimes and misdemeanors. No law has been broken.
Well, that's what they're trying to find out. What they're looking for, Juan, are the documents that show how did the investigation begin?
Fine. But there's no...
Was there probable cause? Was there intelligence?
Fine.
Why were they throwing spies?
You just got the Spicer report this weekend.
And they're looking at when they issued the FISA warrant.
Yeah, you just got that.
Proper FBI
saw it this
protocol
weekend.
Followed. No, they didn't. They're also looking for what was redacted from the FISA warrant. And the fact that Rosenstein hasn't come forward and say, here you go, because you guys have proper oversight, makes people think, why isn't this guy playing ball?
This is such a mistake. We just let it die. Let it go away.
No, Greg.
One wants it to live. By the way, my camera's out. See, I can't.
Also,
I don't know where to look.
The House is now out for 5 weeks.
Wait, what?
Yeah, today's their last day for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm running for Congress.
Jesse, you want them out there campaigning, so don't complain.
Also, this is a really tough job.
Jesse's announcement is now.
All right,
What's your
send
platform?
me money. The super PAC is over here. All right.
Go
Could
fund
Mark
me.
Zuckerberg be out at Facebook? We'll find out.
Some big problems brewing for big tech. President Trump taking aim at Twitter over its reported shadow banning of some prominent conservatives. The social media platform under fire for allegedly restricting Republicans' visibility in search results. The president vows to look into what he calls the illegal practice, though Twitter officials describe it as a glitch they're trying to fix. And Mark Zuckerberg is on the hot seat after his company loses over $100 billion with the B dollars in value in the wake of its mounting scandals. Facebook shareholders have reportedly filed a proposal to remove him as chairman. Is that too extreme, Greg?
I don't know. I mean, this is very interesting. To coin a phrase, I think with social media, the bloom has come off the rose.
Oh, that's a great saying. I think that'll really catch on.
Yeah. I'm going to quote, this is the greatest thing ever said about social media. Walter Kern tweeted this last night. He said it, Twitter sells you conflict, Instagram sells you envy, and Facebook simply sells you.
Ooh,
and I think that if you think about that, people are starting to figure it out. When you get on Twitter, you get angry. When you get on Instagram, you get jealous. And when you're on Facebook, you feel like you're being manipulated. And I think there's time to, these things have grown very quickly. Pull back, take a day off, Twitter. Figure out, should you ban anonymity? Could that change Twitter? It could, if everybody's name was attached. That would be a start.
Then you would know. I mean, the shadow banning thing, Lisa, what do you think about it? I mean, the liberals sort of caught on last week to this issue, and they said that conservatives were being favored by Facebook, and they got headlines out of that.
Well, I thought was the most illuminating is Jonathan Swan of Axios, who I think does a great job doing reporting. But he said that basically conservatives have been coming to him for a while now and saying that stuff like this was going on, and he never believed it. And what's interesting is now that it was reported in Vice, which is a liberal publication, people might actually take it seriously. So I thought that was sort of illuminating. But regarding Facebook, they made basically the biggest mistake of all, which was getting caught in President Trump's orbit and all of this Russia stuff, because Facebook basically was like Teflon. Until that hit, and now they're dealing with the carnage and the damage of it.
Well, I know what Facebook did wrong. They messed with Diamond and Silk. And that is the problem. That's why you see their market value plunge. It's the curse of Diamond and Silk. In all seriousness, though, I would buy Facebook. I mean, it's down 20%.
That's what I wonder. I mean, I know nothing about how to do those things, but
what,
I was...
buy and sell stock?
Yeah, I don't really know.
You call your broker.
I don't really have one. I don't.
Facebook.
But... Well, I mean, I have some, I don't know, it's like a mutual fund, but whatever. Is it now a good time to buy?
I would buy it. I mean, it's way down, and it's a great company, and Zuckerberg's a genius, and he aced the Capitol Hill hearing. I think he's a really smart guy. It's down a little bit right now.
You're looking for a job, aren't you?
Well, if he ever writes a book, you tell me, is it too extreme to say that Zuckerberg should be out of a job?
No, it's crazy. He created this. I mean, and also remember, I think Jesse said this to me just a moment ago. He said, you know, the only way that you can justify losing that much money is you made even more money. And he's made a lot of money for a lot of people. And I don't think Facebook's going away, but I think it's going to change. I think one of the things that I'd like to see it change is banning this pretense that they are a neutral platform. They're not neutral. They have to make decisions, and they should, in fact, censor some of the hate speech. I mean, people, from Sandy Hook,
but they're trying to use, well, they're trying to use a mix of people, but also algorithms to do that, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, but the algorithms are what got them in trouble yesterday, because people said, oh, some of these Republican things that automatically drop when you click isn't quite working, and then they said it was algorithms. But
the problem is the people that create the algorithms are usually politically correct whiz kids, and there's bias baked into that cake. If you're designing an algorithm that says conservative speech is more akin to hate speech than liberal speech, you're automatically going to be biased against conservatives.
Maybe it's that what you see. You have to watch this carefully, because I side with you. I want free speech. But I'm going to tell you, hate speech, bullying, harassment, intimidation, that should not be fake stuff.
Ben Sass did the best
fake
job.
Stuff, they'll have to get rid of the New York Times.
Oh my God.
But Ben Sass asked Mark Zuckerberg to try to define hate speech, and he stumbled and struggled with defining it. So I think that's the problem. But my favorite tweet, there's a Reason reporter that tweeted after the Senate hearing and said that Mark Zuckerberg has every millennial's worst fear of trying to explain technology to the nation's elderly. Because that was part of why he did so well at the hearing.
Well, a lot of people are complaining are not elderly.
Okay, well, with all due respect.
Hate speech, sorry to say, is in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
And it depends who's in charge, and they're going to say that you're being mean to me. So that's what the problem with hate speech is, that it's subjective.
It's like art.
It is. It is. And the other thing, too, is I don't think people understand algorithms. You know, just because somebody is using an algorithm on you isn't wrong. They're like everybody does A/B testing with companies. They try, let's say McDonald's, they'll try McRiblets in one place, but not in another place. That's A/B testing.
McRiblets?
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yes, they're fantastic. No, I'm sorry, that's Applebee's. But anyway, so what happens is when they test algorithms, oftentimes they test them on some people and see how it works. Dating sites do this a lot. They will test a dating algorithm, and people go, well, I want the other thing. Well, this could be better. So algorithms, it's not wrong to use an algorithm.
I have an idea. You should create for the Gigi Show a character named Al Gore Rhythm.
I think I did once.
Oh my gosh.
He did invent the internet.
That's all right. Pretty good. Harvard takes the sisterhood out of sorority, and Greg explains the Ivy League's co-ed controversy next.
Making my world better than it's ever been.
Yeah, they cut that song out pretty early. All right, a Harvard sorority just announced they're going gender neutral. Kappa Alpha Theta, if that's their real name, will actually be changing its name, delinking itself from its national chapter, all because Harvard penalizes its members by withholding student leadership positions as well as other perks, while still charging them, of course, $60 grand a year. I know, it's hard to care about a Harvard sorority. Talk about a rough life. But it's a slow news day. And clubs by nature are clubby. People join based on shared traits, hobbies, and so on. If you like stamps, you join a stamp club. If you like motorcycles, you join the Hells Angels. In high school, I couldn't join the boys' chorus because I couldn't sing, and I couldn't join the girls' chorus because I went to an all-boys school. I could only sing in the shower, often by myself. It was pure hell, but I managed. But the irony of forcing inclusivity on clubs is that inevitably clubs go away. It's not worth the trouble. Society's now in a gender panic, where it's scandalous to say that boys and girls are different and that they like different things. I've yet to run into a single male who likes Maroon 5.
She will be loved. She will be loved.
I think you see my point there. And so, social circles will likely fold to pressure from self-serious college administrators. Maybe that's why everyone prefers to live on social media, for maybe it more closely resembles real life with friends, enemies, insults, jokes, insights, and genius. And it's 60 grand a year cheaper.
It's true.
Is it true, Dana?
I think that that's true. You make a very good point.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I wish I knew which one it was.
Well, that people would like to be in a club, right? Because if you're on social media, remember it was just last week that actor Dulpas, whatever, got in trouble because with all of his friends and his club because he said, maybe if you want to follow somebody that might not totally agree with you, try Ben Shapiro. And then, then his club wanted to oust him.
Yes.
And also a huge concern right now for people is the destruction of civil society.
Right.
And part of that is that people don't belong to clubs anymore.
You need clubs.
Like Rotary Club, things like that. People would get together and do things, put on the parade, have the event, help assimilate immigrants, things like that. This is actually a very interesting point that you made.
Yes, you know, Juan, okay, there are black fraternities. People would go crazy if you tried to say, okay, black fraternities have to accept white people, or gay fraternities have to accept straight people. I mean, a sorority is a sorority anymore if it is gender neutral? I guess.
I think its roots are as a female organization. But I mean, so much of this is kind of reactionary, if you will. I mean, like you were talking about black fraternities, black sororities. Guess what? They were created because they weren't, black people were not allowed into the white ones, right?
Good point.
And with the women's thing, it's interesting. You know, the male fraternities are the ones, especially at places like Harvard, Princeton, Yale, they're the ones that have all the tradition and the power and the secret societies. And
Skull and Bones.
Right, and women for the longest time were saying, hey, how come we can't get in? You know, I mean, what was the Radcliffe, right, was the girls' school, and Harvard, the boys' school. Remember, all that's shifted. So we've seen changes. And for the most part, I think it's good, Greg. I think that you should be able to go, but the worry would be that, and I think you hear this from a lot of women who argue that you need women's schools, women's colleges, because that's where women get to be stronger.
It's so stupid. It's so dumb. If someone wants to start a club and everyone calls themselves a Z, why not? You do your thing. Why can't I be a part of a sorority and we're all she's? I just think that this is so stupid. And I also think it just underscores and demonstrates the totalitarianism of the left in the sense that they don't like something, they shut it down. We were seeing this with free speech as well, now with free association. And I think it's a big problem. And I just think I just think it's so stupid. I don't even have the words for it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Wait a second.
And I liked being in a sorority in college. Lay off.
They didn't shut it down.
No, but but they're penalizing you to a point where it makes it very difficult to try to be a part of one. So they're making they're coercing.
If you remain closed, you should be
exactly. So you can no longer be a sorority or a fraternity. Therefore, if you do as a single gender organization, then you get punished by the administration through things like through things like barring people from holding
but
leadership
Lisa,
positions, things of that nature.
I think you can still be open. You can still be a sorority.
But go join another club, and everyone can be whatever you want to be.
Jesse,
you can all be unicorns. I don't care.
Hey, leave unicorns out of this. Jesse, we keep hearing about how important it is to have safe spaces. Couldn't you argue that a sorority is a safe space for women, and fraternities are? I mean, it's like it's kind of strange.
Men kind of wouldn't mind living with women, but women do not want to live with men. We're disgusting, and we're loud and obnoxious, and we're going to be making all kinds of loud noises in the middle of the night. They need their space to be girls. Guys don't necessarily need that because we just like spread out and do our thing. This is why I didn't go to Harvard. I mean, this is, I can't stand what's so funny. What's so funny? I don't know why everyone's laughing. I would also like to apologize on behalf of the Five to Adam Levine. I think he's a good singer, and I like Maroon 5.
You did raise your hand. For everyone at home, you raised his hand when your Maroon 5 point.
I don't know. I can't. I think it's about busybodies.
Yeah.
This is one of. It's like the straws. And it's like there's a lot.
There was no one complaining
because there's so much good news. They have nothing left to complain about.
They go after sororities. Well, I think we all learned a lesson here that Jesse has terrible taste in music. All right,
true.
You do. Come on, Maroon 5. Do you actually listen to that?
Yeah. Listen, you had thrash metal on the bump in.
Iron Age.
Everyone in the
Check out
audience's
Iron Age.
ears
They have one album. It's very good. Iron Age is music. Maroon 5.
It was someone running over a trash
Music
can.
in Iron Age was actually not very good.
Oh, it was great. Oh, jeez, give them a chance.
In the Iron Age.
Oh, in the Iron Age. Very funny. All right.
40 jokes.
40 jokes. Next, we reveal the secrets to an absolutely perfect day. That includes watching me. Don't go anywhere.
That song works. All right, well, we all know that watching The Five makes your day perfect, and now there may be scientific proof to back it up. A new study says the average person has only 15 perfect days a year. The ideal day recipe includes waking up at 8:15 in the morning, sunny skies with 74-degree temperatures, enjoying about 3 hours outdoors, spending several hours with family and friends, and unwinding in front of the TV, and going to bed around 10:50 at night. So what does a perfect day look like for my fellow Fivers? All right, well, my perfect day is the beach, hanging out, doing activities, maybe a glass of wine, family, friends, and then some me time. I was with Stingray. I don't know if there's any other photos. Yep, that's it. All right. Jesse.
So you'd like to be with Stingray.
It's at the
That's
beach
a perfect day.
That's a perfect day.
All right, whatever. Jesse, what does your perfect day that is acceptable for national television?
Wow. Wow. I mean, I sit next to Dana, so every day is a perfect day. And no,
You're so charming.
I like lying around in the pool, maybe, or, at the beach. That's a perfect day for me, right there on a unicorn.
Hey,
the drink, just catching some sun. Not a care in the world.
All right, Dana, so petting a dog was part of the mood boosters
number one.
of people.
Number one.
What is I assume your perfect days?
No, so I've got one. I have to have a schedule. So I like an early morning wake up, and I like to read all the papers. And then I like to long walk on the beach or wherever I am with Peter and Jasper the dog. Jasper's the dog. I like a chance to read my book. I like to have a tennis lesson. Then I like to have a walk in the afternoon. Then I like to go to dinner. I like to have a game, like game night. And then I like to go to bed early.
That's like 4 perfect days for me. In one. Greg, what does your perfect day look like?
Well, first I throw up from hearing everybody else's perfect day. Jeez Louise. All right. You have to be an idiot to believe in perfect days. Wisdom comes from understanding the imperfections of life and appreciating when certain things come together. That's a good day. Never a perfect day. Here's the secret to a perfect day or a good day, right?
Okay.
You are two different people. Right? You're two different people. I'm today Greg, but there's tomorrow Greg. If I really want to be mean to tomorrow Greg, I could drink a lot tonight and then not do any work for tomorrow's show. And then tomorrow's Greg will have a hangover and be behind in work. So the key to a happy life is today Greg always has to be nice to tomorrow Greg. That's the secret to everything.
Not drinking.
That's why I like to go to bed early.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like everything is you are two people. You are today and you are tomorrow. And the only way you're going to have a perfect day or a good day is to work for tomorrow.
I love it.
That sounds like a good stretch because maybe if you have a perfect day, you really push it. The next day might not be, the best. It's a good day or a bad day at worst. Juan, what does your perfect day look like? Maybe baseball or what's?
It's not a bad idea, but I mean, my perfect day. I think one of the things that strikes me is family. I mean, I noticed that on this list is kindness, and so if I, like I have Sunday night dinner with my family, I always think this is great. You catch up with everybody, you say hello to everybody's there. So, if heaven is like you're surrounded by people you love, I think that's, hopefully that's the family or maybe your friends or I don't know, but that to me that's pretty good. I notice also on this list the things that entertain me, like listening to rain. I like listening to the rainfall, but I don't know that makes for a perfect day. On the whole, I'd say it's easier to be perfectly happy if you live in San Diego, because I was looking at this list and it's like the beach, sunshine, outdoors.
Traffic.
You know what? A perfect day, I wouldn't mind being in jail.
Why?
No. Okay, think
And
about
a house arrest.
house arrest because you have no options. You got your meals and you just read. I could do that.
But no
Wouldn't
tennis
you be
lessons.
bored,
No tennis lessons.
So, Jesse, perfect day jail?
No.
How about
Maybe
that?
for someone else, that's their perfect day.
Well,
Being
yeah.
in jail.
All right, never mind. All right, we'll save that for later. All right, one more thing is coming up next, so stay tuned.
So just dance, dance, dance.
I see the familiar faces of the people I've known for years and every day. As I grew up with most of you, went to school with most of you, or your parents. As plant manager, it was difficult laying off people and getting the calls. After the layoff, hearing about the struggles, hearing about their personal lives, hearing about the community, how it was suffering. However, the plant was able to come back thanks to all the hard work from every one of you and the dedication from every one of you. And your support, Mr. President. I look around here today and I see the smiling faces. We owe that to you, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Incredible. Incredible job. Thank you. All four. Thank you very much. And those stories are inspiring for everybody in our country, and you have a lot of people listening right now. We want every American to know the dignity of work, the pride of a paycheck, and the satisfaction of a job well done. That's what's happening right here in Granite City. Made in America. It's not just a slogan, it's a way of life. I remember when I was growing up, made in the USA or made in America, it was on everything. It was on everything. A country, Czechoslovakia, a long time ago, people used to take single dollar bills and they used to paint them and paste them onto the windshield of their car because it represented America. That's all coming back now. That's what's happening. Made in the USA, made in America. We're proud of it again. With your help, we are lifting up workers all across our land. We are lifting up the miners who blast ore from Minnesota's Iron Range. The dock workers in Duluth who load it onto barges 1,000 feet long. The crew members who navigate down the Great Lakes, through the Michigan Solux, and on to Illinois. The rail workers who haul it right here to beautiful Granite City. And everyone that touches the barges, the trucks, the trains that carry the work of your hands to destinations all across our country, all across the world, to factories and construction sites, into our stores, our homes, our driveways. We thank you. We are a nation of builders, makers, and creators. In the furnaces of our factories, we forge American prosperity, power, and prestige. Remember that word, prestige. Our country is becoming prestigious again. I meet with leaders. They all come to me and they congratulate me on what we've done. They respect us again. America is back. Our country is back. We see the proud legacy of our steelworkers all across this magnificent landscape. In our city skylines and our bridges and pipelines, from the Empire State Building to that shining monument to America's pioneering spirit, the gateway arch. The soul of our nation lives in our people. The heart of our nation beats in our citizens. And the destiny of our nation is found in our two hands. We all share the same home. We all salute the same great American flag. And we are all made by the same Almighty God. I will never stop fighting for you because I know that you are the ones that are rebuilding our nation. You are the ones reclaiming our dreams. And yes, you are the ones who are making America great again. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you, everybody.
Hello, everyone. I'm Juan Williams, along with Lisa.
I see the familiar faces of the people I've known for years and every day. As I grew up with most of you, went to school with most of you, are your parents. As plant manager, it was difficult laying off people and getting the calls. After the layoff, hearing about the struggles, hearing about their personal lives, hearing about the community, how it was suffering. However, the plant was able to come back thanks to all the hard work from every one of you and the dedication from every one of you. And your support, Mr. President. I look around here today and I see the smiling faces. We owe that to you, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Incredible. Incredible job. Thank you. All four. Thank you very much. And those stories are inspiring for everybody in our country, and you have a lot of people listening right now. We want every American to know the dignity of work, the pride of a paycheck, and the satisfaction of a job well done. That's what's happening right here in Granite City. Made in America. It's not just a slogan, it's a way of life. I remember when I was growing up, made in the USA or made in America, it was on everything. It was on everything. A country, Czechoslovakia, a long time ago, people used to take single-dollar bills and they used to paint them and paste them onto the windshield of their car because it represented America. That's all coming back now. That's what's happening. Made in the USA, made in America. We're proud of it again. With your help, we are lifting up workers all across our land. We are lifting up the miners who blast ore from Minnesota's Iron Range. The dock workers in Duluth who load it onto barges 1,000 feet long. The crew members who navigate down the Great Lakes, through the Michigan Solux, and on to Illinois. The rail workers who haul it right here to beautiful Granite City. And everyone that touches the barges, the trucks, the trains that carry the work of your hands to destinations all across our country, all across the world, to factories and construction sites, into our stores, our homes, our driveways. We thank you. We are a nation of builders, makers, and creators. In the furnaces of our factories, we forge American prosperity, power, and prestige. Remember that word, prestige. Our country is becoming prestigious again. I meet with leaders. They all come to me and they congratulate me on what we've done. They respect us again. America is back. Our country is back. We see the proud legacy of our steelworkers all across this magnificent landscape. In our city skylines, in our bridges and pipelines, from the Empire State Building to that shining monument to America's pioneering spirit, the Gateway Arch. The soul of our nation lives in our people. The heart of our nation beats in our citizens. And the destiny of our nation is found in our two hands. We all share the same home. We all salute the same great American flag. And we are all made by the same Almighty God. I will never stop fighting for you because I know that you are the ones that are rebuilding our nation. You are the ones reclaiming our dreams. And yes, you are the ones who are making America great again. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you, everybody.
Hello, everyone. I'm Juan Williams, along with Lisa Booth, Jesse Waters, Dana Perino, and Greg Gutfeld. It's 5 o'clock in New York. Actually, a little later. It's New York in New York City, and this is The Five. As you just saw, President Trump wrapping up a speech to steelworkers in Illinois just moments ago. He's also visited farmers in Iowa. That was earlier today.
We had this hat made up. Look at that. It's the John Deere colors, actually, but make our farmers great again. Isn't that great? Make our... Basically, we opened up Europe, and that's going to be a great thing for Europe, and it's really going to be a great thing for us, and it's going to be a really great thing for our farmers. After years of shutdowns and cutbacks, today the blast furnace here in Granite City is blazing bright. Workers are back on the job. And we are once again pouring new American steel into the spine of our country.
Now, some people are saying one of the biggest problems for Democrats in 2018 this year and 2020, the presidential election year, is the party's inability to develop a cohesive message to counter President Trump. In fact, an op-ed in the New York Times today foreshadows Trump winning re-election in 2020 due to the strong economy.